All right, y'all. Welcome to Street Church Congregation. Come on in. And for first time visitors, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, y'all. I got a sad, horrific one. Talk about um ex-Washington police officer by the name of Elias Huzar. A few weeks ago, this man and he went to his ex-wife's school where she worked at and shot her to death in front of her 9-year-old son at her job, the school she worked at. Then he went and killed his he killed his girlfriend, still girlfriend at the time, not ex, but still girlfriend, present girlfriend. He went and murdered her too, killed her, and went on the run with their 1-year-old son that they had together, that the girlfriend, him and the girlfriend had together. So he takes off, he gets found after a manhunt because of the double murders. He gets found in Oregon with a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Thank God for that he decided to shoot his sick, sadistic self in the head. I think the report is now that he's dead from the headshot wound that he inflicted himself with. Because, like, these sick, sadistic, evil people, once the devil possesses you to do something this heinous and this sick and this wicked, the devil flees and leave you to your own devices. He leaves you back to yourself. The devil only came because this man allowed this sin to be conceived in his mind. You understand what I'm saying? So the devil knew that this was conceived in his mind, this sin, to murder these people. Well, what the devil does is he helps you give birth to it, right? And how do you give birth to it? Well, you do it physically. That's when it's a sin. That's when you commit the sin. It's a sin all in itself, right? But the Bible teaches us temptation allows you to conceive it, a conception of it. And then once that temptation is full grown, right? Once you allowed it to develop, it is allowed to give birth. That's how Satan causes us, that's how Satan is able to steal, kill, and destroy in our lives. And sometimes our very lives. But this is how this is how he operates. He allows you to conceive the sin by temptation. So something tempted this man to think in this way, to conceive this. And then he allowed it to get full grown. And when it was full grown, it gave birth to him going out to actually commit these murders. So let me show you, though, how people around us can help these people commit these heinous crimes that they commit. Because of carelessness and a lack of due diligence and a lack of vigilance within our law enforcement, our justice system, right? Our legal system, right? This man was laying with a 17-year-old who he had the son with. He met her when she was 15 and 16. He started having sex with her, and they eventually had a kid when she was 17. His wife divorced him, left him, probably because of this. The courts had already decided this was statutory rape on his part. At that time, you got to be figuring that something is wrong with him beyond the crime committed of statutory rape. Something is wrong with him when you can see that he has a very beautiful wife, that he's well off as far as he's established in the community as a law enforcement agent. He has a beautiful wife. I'm quite sure that they had a nice home. For him to betray that and to give that up, to lay with a child, the seriousness of questioning this man's mental state should have been in way more serious questioning. His mental state should have been more seriously questioned. His ability to do his job as a law enforcement agent should have come into question because of this misconduct, this sexual immorality, this sexual misconduct should have come into question more seriously. This man's mind, body, and soul should have been in question more seriously. I cannot state that enough. Okay? First. Then he goes and raped his girlfriend's friend, which put him in more, put him out, you know what I'm saying, made him more of a criminal, for lack of better phrasing. It made him more of a criminal. And now his mental, his mind, body, and soul should have been in even more question. It should have been more serious to question this man whether he should be out on the streets. Now, forget taking just his job, because all that did was make him more resentful and more bitter. And he probably really in his mind was accusing his ex-wife and his girlfriend of him losing his position in life. Do you understand this? And so that should have made them say, no, we can't put him out on the streets because he's going to try to blame his wife. He may want to hurt her. He may want to hurt the girlfriend because she the one came forward with her friend and said, he just raped my friend, who was also a minor. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so that made him ponder murder more. And they should have known that. They should have been able to see that coming. How many times has this happened where a husband who had it all loses it all and decides to take it all? How many times we gotta have that happen? Huh? How many times we gotta have that happen? So now he's out on bond for the statutory rape of the girlfriend and the rape of the girlfriend's friend. So when he's out on bond, he commits these double murders. Kills his ex-wife, kills his girlfriend, goes on the run, and shoots himself in the head. All of this has played out too many times in America for there to not be any contingencies within the law enforcement agencies throughout the United States to better handle this, because some of this stuff they can see coming a mile away. And this has nothing to do with freedom of speech, people's rights, the Constitution. It has nothing to do with this. This could have been prevented. And too many times they have admitted that this could have been prevented. And so they need to start to put contingencies in place to prevent it. It's enough. I'm tired of hearing it could have been prevented. We should have prevented it. It would have been prevented. You need to start the prevention. Come on, this is Street Church. We're going to lay it all out over here. Come on. This did not have to happen. This woman probably warned them that this man was beyond reasoning. He was beyond his rights, constitutionally, legally. He was beyond that. He had already did enough where he was beyond giving him his rights. And sometimes we really need to look at that and evaluate that. But we need to evaluate it by the behavior of somebody. We don't need to use it and put it in law to start using it against people who ain't doing stuff. But we need to put things in law where the writing is on the wall, where we can see clearly that there needs to be laws in place where a person goes beyond their constitutional rights. They go beyond their legal rights in their behaviors and actions, not words. You know what I'm saying? Not things that are not got nothing to do with their behavior or their conduct, but things that have to do with their behavior that's escalating. You can see the escalation, but y'all won't do anything. That's where laws need to be written in. Escalation laws. That's what you should call it. Escalation laws. Just like they have what's that where you don't have to read you the Miranda rights when there's a extringent it's like they don't have the time to read you your rights, the Miranda rights, so they can go without reading you the Miranda rights and go ahead and take care of business on certain cases because the circumstances permit them to do it. They're so extreme that they gotta do what they gotta do, and they don't got time to read Miranda rights because Miranda rights used to get a lot of people off because they wouldn't read the Miranda rights to them. They would just go and make the arrest or do what they had to do. And so people not being read their Miranda rights was getting them off cases, was loopholes that big drug dealers, even murderers, people with violent crimes were able to use until they said, no, in this situation, you don't need to, we don't care about he didn't read you your Miranda rights. They excluded it at certain times. And this is what needs to be happening. They need to write a law that's called the escalation law, right? Because that's what they failing to act on is the escalation, the constant stalking, the threats on the text, emails, them being disruptive to where they work at. All of these things are escalations. And that's why I need to write a law called the escalation law. Criminal escalation, though. It needs to be criminal. Criminal escalation law so that they can just keep them locked up when they first have them. That probably would prevent a lot. Anyway, like, share, comment. Let me know what y'all think about my escalation law. You know, it can be amended, it can be revised, it can be written, but they need to start with the criminal escalation law. That's my law that I'm saying somebody can take a hold of. Any lawyer, any lobbyist looking at this is what you go over this video, see what I'm talking about. The criminal escalation law. There's a point where all criminals involved, especially with these domestic violence people, it's a point where they don't stop the escalation. They don't do enough to prevent the escalation. They watch the escalation and they continue to let them get out on bond. They done went and hit the woman, or the woman done hit the man. They done passed threats towards each other. They done said even sometimes they gonna kill them. And there need to be in place the criminal escalation. We need to be catching them in escalation of the crime that they're going to eventually commit, because they're going to commit it, because the escalation of the behavior during the escalation of it is letting you know, you seeing the stages of them. So they're going to do it. You can see eventually, it's inevitable that they're going to do it. And therefore, there need to be laws written, the criminal escalation law. Y'all check it out. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Let me know what y'all think about my criminal escalation law. Like I said before, run the views up. Y'all get the views up. And I got merch, a merch store down here. Y'all get y'all t-shirt. Y'all get y'all coffee mug. Get your water bottle. Start your fall collection early by getting you a hoodie right now. On that, this is Street Church. I'm letting the congregation out. God bless.